Welcome back, travelers. It's that time of year when the stifling Florida heat makes visiting your Disney resort pool a must. And whether you're taking a break from the parks in the middle of the day or just trying to cool off for a bit, you're probably going to be heading to the pool. But here's the part that most people don't think about. Not all Disney resort pools are even close to the same. Some feel like mini water parks, and some are basically just a place to get wet and leave. And when you're paying what you're paying to stay at these resorts, that difference matters more than you think. So because we want you choosing the right resort for those hot Disney afternoons, we've experienced all 20 feature resort pools across Disney World. And today we're ranking them from worst to best. And also, to be clear, you are never allowed to pool hop at Disney resorts. So where you stay is where you'll swim. And be forewarned, we've made some picks that could be considered controversial. So without further ado, let's jump into the countdown. Coming in at last place, number 20, we have the Calypso Pool at Disney's All-Star Music Resort. The All-Star pools are all very similar. They are your basic place to get wet. And lately, they seem to be overrun with sports teams and school groups, which can make them feel especially crowded. Now, we base this last place ranking mostly on the fact that while we love music, we just don't love the music theming quite as much as the others. And this is also where we'll mention that since the All-Stars are sister resorts, you can use all 3 of their pools no matter which resort you're staying at. At number 19, we have the Surfboard Bay Pool at Disney's All-Star Sports Resort. Everything we said about music applies here too. We just like the theming a little bit better because we are huge sports fans. And this one holds a special place in my heart because it's where I stayed with my oldest son on his very first Disney trip way back in 2008. And it was also the first time I stayed on Disney property. So nostalgia is big on this one, but it only takes it so far. And in this case, it bumps it up just one spot. At number 18, we have the third and final All-Star Resort, and that is the Fantasia Pool at Disney's All-Star Movies. The same holds true for this one as the other All-Stars, but we just think it's a bit more fun overall, especially for kids, and that's why it lands here at number 18. At number 17, we have the Hippy Dippy Pool at Disney's Pop Century Resort. That's right, another value comes in at the bottom of our list. Again, this resort ranks very high on the nostalgia chart for us here at Travel Soul, but that's just not because of the pool. And while it's a fun and lively atmosphere, it really just doesn't offer much beyond your typical pool experience. There's no slide, no hot tub, and like the other value resorts, it can often be busy with sports teams and school groups, which can change the feel of your vacation if you're not a part of those groups. So that is why it comes in at number 17. At number 16, we have the first moderate resort on the list, and that is the Meadow Swimming Pool at Disney's Fort Wilderness. Now, this pool is currently undergoing an expansion, so we weren't really sure where to place it. And to be perfectly transparent, this is one of only 2 resorts on the list where we haven't yet stayed and only visited, so the pool experience remains to be seen. The original pool was perfectly fine. It had a slide, a hot tub, but it was on the smaller side, so we'll see where this one lands once the expansion is complete and we've stayed here. Also of note, for a nature-loving soul, this resort has so much more to offer beyond the pool that it's easy to overlook any shortcomings that the pool area may have had. Number 15 is a pick that some of you may consider to be controversial, but we don't think so. And that's the feature pool at Disney's Contemporary Resort. The Contemporary Resort is one of Disney's original resorts, and just like Pop Century, it fills that nostalgic soul. But for the price point that you have to pay to stay here, we feel like the pool is underwhelming at best, and so it slides in at number 15. Splashing in at number 14 is the Old Man Island pool at Disney's Port Orleans Riverside. Now, this pool is not bad, it really isn't. It's actually kind of cool with the old mill theming and the slide, and it has a pretty fun atmosphere. But it's also a bit plain compared to some of the others on the list, and it can be a very long walk from some of the buildings at the resort, so for that reason, it's coming in at number 14. At number 13, we have the sister resort of Port Orleans Riverside, and that is Port Orleans French Quarter and the Doubloon Lagoon Pool. And it's worth mentioning that just like with the All-Star resorts, since these are sister resorts, if you are staying at either Port Orleans resort, you can use both the French Quarter and the Riverside pools. Now, we are probably going to take some hate for this one, especially from our family members that love and swear by this pool and this resort. And we also love French Quarter Resort for its quaintness, its small footprint, the water taxi to Disney Springs, and of course, beignets. But the pool, while super cute and fun, with that great sea serpent slide and splash pad for kids, does have some flaws. And one of the biggest is that even during somewhat slower times, we've had a very difficult time finding a chair, and even had to skip the pool altogether during the heat of the day. So for that reason, we just couldn't place it any higher on the list than number 13. At number 12, we have the Luna Park pool at Disney's Boardwalk Inn. Yes, we're probably going to take even more heat for this one, but this pool just hasn't done much for us during our stays. The bar is festive and fun, and the Keister Coaster slide is definitely an upgrade from the old clown slide. But the hot tub is super tiny, and again, this is a pool where we've had a tough time finding a chair unless we show up very early in the morning, and even then, we've had some difficulty finding a place to plant ourselves. So when you're paying a pretty penny to stay here, it is disappointing to not be able to just walk up and enjoy the pool on a hot day. And so for that reason, this one splashes in at number 12. At number 11, we have the Sandcastle pool at Disney's Old Key West Resort. And we really can't fully defend this spot because, to be completely transparent, we have visited, but this is the second resort on the list that we haven't actually stayed at yet. So we walked around the pool area, we spent some time there, and it actually really made me want to stay here. I loved its laid-back vibe, the fun slide, and it just feels like a place you could spend a relaxing afternoon. But it is quite a walk or even internal bus ride from many of the buildings. Who knows, once we actually stay here, this one could move up on our list, so stay tuned.
If you are finding this video helpful or entertaining, we'd like to ask you to take just a couple of seconds and hit that like button, and also subscribe to our channel. We really appreciate it, and it helps us keep going.
Number 10 is another one that many of you could consider to be a controversial pick, and it's actually one of my favorite resorts on property, and that is the beach pool at Disney's Grand Floridian Resort. This is one of, if not the most expensive resorts to stay at on Disney property, and while it is absolutely beautiful, the pool just doesn't quite live up to that price point. There are some great elements. The Alice in Wonderland splash area is really well done, and the second quiet pool is actually pretty big and where we spend a lot of our time when we're staying here. But overall, we just expect a little more excitement here. We'll never complain about staying at the Grand, but we wouldn't mind a more elevated pool experience to go along with that price point. Coming in ninth place, we have the High Rock Spring Pool at Disney's Saratoga Springs Resort. Now, this is a really solid pool. It has great rock work, a nice slide, a big hot tub, and there's even a second pool at the paddock that feels like another feature pool. So there's a lot to like here. Really, the only downside is the layout of the resort itself, and depending on where your room is, it can be quite a hike to get to either of these pools. So while the pools are great, it's probably not the reason to choose the Saratoga Springs Resort. In the 8th spot, we have the biggest pool on property, and that is the Big Blue Pool at Disney's Art of Animation Resort and the last value resort on our list. Like I said, it is the biggest pool on property, the theming is incredible, and it's basically a kid's dream. And yes, there's even music playing underwater. But There is no slide, there's no hot tub, and those are pretty big misses. If it had both, it would easily be in the top 5, but as it stands, it lands here at number 8. In the number 7 spot, we have the Riviera Pool at Disney's Riviera Resort. Now, we really love this pool area. This is one of those pools where everything is very close together. You've got Bar Riva right there, Primo Piatti, quick service, which is one of our favorites on property, is just steps away. There's a nice slide, a splash area. There are games nearby, even swings and a beach area. And my favorite part, gelato right outside the gates of the main pool. It's just easy, and you're never far from your room, which is a huge plus. The theming isn't as over the top as some others, but overall, the experience here is really, really good, and we really love this one. Number 6, we have the Copper Creek Springs Pool at Disney's Wilderness Lodge. This one is just beautiful. It really does feel like you're at a mountain resort instead of in the middle of Florida. The theming here is strong, the setting is peaceful, and then you've got Geyser Point right there, which might be the very best pool bar on property. We could absolutely spend an entire day here. It feels great cooling off here, and this one came in very close to cracking the top 5.
I hope you're enjoying this video. If you're planning a Disney or Universal trip, a cruise, or really any vacation at all, we'd love to help. We run Blue Horse Travel, and working with us doesn't cost you anything extra, and we can help you pick the right dates, the right cruise, or resort. Oh, and if you've ever been interested in becoming a travel agent, whether it be full-time or part-time, we'd love to talk to you. So again, that's bluehorsetravel.com for all your travel needs.
And now to round out our top 5, in 5th place, we have the Fuentes del Morro Pool at Disney's Caribbean Beach Resort. This pool has so much going on. You've got 2 slides, a full pirate fortress, which is a kid's dream, a splash pad, the Banana Cabana bar, which is so much fun for the grown-ups. The vibes here are just so much fun. This is a great mix for both kids and adults, and it really adds to the overall stay. The only thing holding it back just a bit is depending on where you're staying on the resort grounds. It can be a bit of a hike or an internal bus ride to get here, but overall, this is very deserving of a top 5 spot. At number 4, we have the last moderate resort on our list, and that's the Lost City of Cibola Pool at Disney's Coronado Springs Resort. We love this pool. The area is big, it's well laid out, and we've actually had really good luck finding seating here, which for us is a huge deal. The pyramid slide is awesome, the pool bar is great, and the hot tub here is the biggest on Disney property. There's also a playground, a volleyball court, and other activities nearby. This is a pool that can really elevate your stay, and at a moderate price point, that is a huge win and why this one slides in at number 4. In 3rd place, we have Animal Kingdom Lodge. Okay, we're bending the rules just a little here, and that's because when you stay at Animal Kingdom Lodge, you can use both the Uzima Pool at Jambo House and the Samawati Springs Pool at Kidani Village, which we consider both to be feature pools, and both of them are fantastic. The vibe here is just amazing. It's relaxing for adults, fun for kids, and then you've got that savannah nearby with the animals. The hot tub at Jambo House is tucked off to the side in its own little space, which we love. The splash area at Kidani Village is hands down the best we've seen on Disney property. And when you factor in that you can sometimes stay here for not much more than a moderate price point, this is a really strong number 3. In 2nd place, one of my all-time favorite resorts, and that is the Polynesian Village Resort and the lava pool. Now this one is iconic. Sliding down a volcano, looking out towards Cinderella Castle, it just feels like Disney. And we have so many great memories at this pool, especially at night, watching the Magic Kingdom fireworks with the music from Happily Ever After being piped in. There's a large hot tub, a great splash area, and 2 really nice quiet pools as well that are very large. And since this is one of Disney's original resorts, the nostalgic factor here is also very high. There's really only one thing keeping this out of the number 1 spot, and that is Stormalong Bay, our number 1 pool on Disney property at Disney's Yacht and Beach Club Resort. also my favorite resort on property. And this isn't just a pool, it is basically a mini water park. You've got a sand bottom, zero entry area, a full lazy river, multiple hot tubs, hidden little pool sections, and one of the biggest slides on property. And then just outside the pool area, you've got Hurricane Hannah's and Beaches and Cream. We've got so many great memories here, even watching the Epcot fireworks from the pool, and it really just doesn't get much better than this. So there you have it, Travel Soul's ranking of all the feature pools on Disney property. We hope this helped you decide where to stay on your next Disney vacation. Tell us in the comments, where did your favorite pool land? And remember, no matter which pool you end up at, being at Disney with a refreshing drink in hand with the people you love, that's good for the soul. And as Lilo says on Lilo and Stitch, Ohana means family, and family means nobody gets left behind or forgotten. So don't let life get too busy to forget to take time to travel with the people you love. So keep traveling, and we'll see you next time.